There's a quiet assumption we all share that we are one single being, one body, one mind, one soul. But what if that unity is an illusion and what we call I is actually a congress of four invisible forces, four distinct instruments tuned together to create the human experience? For centuries, the mystics of the Rosicrucian order whispered that humanity is not singular but layered, a harmony of matter, energy, emotion, and thought woven around a spark of divine consciousness. They claimed that to know these layers is to command health, clarity, and destiny itself. To ignore them is to live as a fragment of what you truly are. Imagine looking at yourself not through biology, but through vibration. The visible body is the surface, the hardware, but underneath, currents of light sustain and direct every heartbeat. This is what ancient initiates called the vital body, the living double of flesh, made of etheric currents that drink solar energy through the spleen and distribute it through the nerves like silent lightning. Modern science glimpses fragments of it in circadian biology, in the electrical choreography of cells responding to sunlight. Yet the whole picture remains hidden behind the curtain of measurable matter. The first body is physical, the instrument of action. The second is vital, the battery of life. But there is a third, a body of desire, emotion, and passion, what the ancients called the astral body. It is made not of atoms but of sensations. It glows beyond the skin like an aurora, shifting color with every thought, every mood. Anger flashes crimson, serenity turns blue. Your emotions are not abstractions. They are electromagnetic storms shaping blood, breath, and fate. And then there is the mind, the youngest and most volatile of the four. It is the sculptor of perception, the lens through which the universe interprets itself. Still unsteady in most of us, the mental body wavers like a film developing in the darkroom of evolution. When thought is scattered, the screen distorts. When focused, it becomes transparent, allowing the light of pure awareness to pass unhindered. Together, these four bodies form the human symphony, matter giving substance, energy giving motion, emotion giving color, and thought giving direction. And yet above them all hovers the silent witness, the spirit, the eternal musician who plays them. You are not the violin, nor the bow, nor the note. You are the music itself learning to hear its own song. For millennia, this knowledge remained sealed within temples and fraternities. In Egypt it was coded in hieroglyphs. In Greece, hinted at through geometry. In medieval Europe, guarded by the Rosicrucians who knew that the microcosm mirrors the macrocosm. To disclose it openly meant to give fire to unready hands. Because whoever learns to balance these four forces gains the ability to shape inner and outer worlds alike. Let us explore them one by one. The physical body is clay animated by rhythm. Its perfection lies not in beauty but in equilibrium, sleep that restores, food that vitalizes, movement that awakens. The ancients taught that excess dulls vibration. A heavy meal consumes etheric light as surely as a storm consumes oxygen. Moderation, then, is not morality, it is physics. The vital body is light made dense. It captures solar and lunar radiations, transforms them into rose-colored streams that circulate through the nerves, sustaining regeneration. During sleep, this current withdraws, leaving the body in a gentle coma of repair. At death, the withdrawal is final, but while life endures, every sunrise is a charge to this invisible battery. That is why sunlight heals depression faster than sermons. The astral body is motion without form, the ocean of desire. It feeds on feeling and returns what it receives multiplied. Fear breeds more fear, gratitude multiplies light. This is not psychology, it is resonance. Heindel wrote that each emotion sets the entire astral field vibrating like a lake responding to a single drop. Learn to still that lake and peace becomes measurable. Disturb it and chaos ripples through your cells. The mental body, finally, is the architect. It builds images that the astral animates, the vital energizes, and the physical manifests. Most people let it wander aimlessly, producing half-formed worlds that clash and cancel each other. The adept learns to think sequentially, clearly, without contradiction, turning imagination into precision. To the mystic scientist, these four are not metaphors. They are strata of frequency, each with its own laws, each interfacing with the next through vibration. Modern neuroscience touches the edge of this truth when it observes neuroplasticity, the brain reshaping itself according to repeated thought. What the mystic knew as vibration, the physicist now calls patterning. But here's the hidden law: these bodies must move in harmony. When one dominates, imbalance manifests as illness or confusion. When the physical ignores the vital, exhaustion follows. When the emotional overwhelms the mind, reason burns out. When the mind denies emotion, the heart withers. Harmony, not suppression, is the path. Ancient initiates observed that the currents of these bodies follow cosmic rhythms. The sun charges the vital, the moon modulates the astral, the planets tune the mental. This is why our moods rise and fall with lunar phases, why creativity peaks after dawn, why sleep restores when darkness returns. To live against these cycles is to swim upstream through invisible tides. To live with them is effortless power. In this view, health is not the absence of disease. It is the resonance of four instruments tuned to one keynote. That keynote is intention. What you decide to feel, think, and embody aligns the entire orchestra. The Rosicrucians taught that the same energy that creates new life can, when lifted upward, create new consciousness. Sexual energy, they said, is the raw creative current of the cosmos itself, the fire of life. If directed outward, it produces bodies. If directed upward, it produces illumination. Hence the ancient warnings. Without moral clarity, power turns to distortion. True transmutation is not repression but redirection, transforming instinct into insight, passion into purpose. Modern physiology hints at this through endocrine chemistry, but chemistry is only the footprint of energy. Behind hormones move currents of light. Every noble thought refines them. Every selfish act coarsens them. In this sense, ethics is physics. Virtue is vibration aligned with universal rhythm. Yet none of this knowledge requires faith. It requires observation. Spend a day under artificial light and your vitality fades. Walk in dawn sunlight for 10 minutes and your mood changes. Fast from noise for a single hour and intuition returns. You are constantly proving the doctrine without realizing it. So how does one begin the great work, the harmonization of the four? Start simply. Upon waking, move the body, stretch, breathe, feel the currents of life awaken. Expose the skin to sunlight. This charges the vital field. Observe your emotions without judgment. Naming them calms the astral storms. Then focus the mind for 3 minutes on a fixed image, a candle flame, a geometric symbol, a rose cross. This trains the mental lens to hold steady, preparing it to reflect the higher light. 4 small acts each morning: movement, light, acknowledgement, focus, rebuild the invisible architecture of being. As the layers begin to align, subtle phenomena appear. Dreams grow vivid. Coincidences cluster. People respond differently, as if reality itself begins to echo your inner order. It isn't supernatural, it's resonance. The world always mirrors coherence. Behind all of this lies one mystery greater still. There is a point in the forehead, just behind the pineal gland, where the four bodies converge like streams meeting in a hidden lake. Clairvoyants saw it as a blue flame, the veil of Isis, the sanctuary of the eye. Here dwells the true self, untouched by thought or emotion, the silent witness that says, "I am." No power, no entity can enter this holy of holies. It is the spark of God individualized. To know it directly is to awaken. Meditation is the bridge to that realization. When the body rests, the breath slows and the mind clears, the four instruments fall silent, and in that stillness, the composer is revealed. You discover that you were never merely a body or emotion or thought, but the consciousness orchestrating them. This is the Rosicrucian meaning of resurrection, not survival after death, but awakening within life. Look again at the world through this lens. Every human interaction becomes a symphony of fields blending. Crowds generate collective auras that pulse like weather systems of emotion. Love synchronizes vibrations, hatred fractures them. Societies rise when their collective field harmonizes and collapse when dissonance dominates. The same law that governs a heartbeat governs civilizations. If humanity understood this, healing would replace punishment, cooperation would replace competition. We would treat emotions as energies to transmute, not enemies to suppress. Education would cultivate focus, not memorization. Science and spirituality would finally meet, one describing the mechanism, the other the meaning. This is not utopia, it is physics awaiting empathy. Because when the four bodies of each human align, the planet itself vibrates differently. The Earth's field is nothing but the sum of hours. The ancient maxim summarizes it all. As above, so below, as within, so without. The universe is not something you're in. It is something you're forming continuously through thought and feeling. You are the lens through which the infinite perceives itself. So tonight, before sleep, let your breath slow. Sense the weight of the body, the earth element. Feel the gentle current of energy, the water of vitality. Notice the emotions, the air that moves them. Observe your thoughts, the fire of mind. Four elements, four bodies, one awareness holding them all. Let that awareness expand beyond the edges of flesh until the distinction between inside and outside dissolves. For a moment you'll feel it, the pulse of the cosmos breathing through you. That is what the ancients meant by the divine spark. You are not one being. You are four instruments of the infinite, tuned by consciousness, played by the soul. And the music you make is reality itself.